as all the cauldron cries, it singeth unto me the songs of Mother Goddess and of Father in the tree.
You need to turn your microphone on, Paisley. You don't even have it on.
Oh, goodness. So, yeah, I totally flaked on the microphone this time. I tell you, yeah. So this is Paisley Wild, and we're adventuring off into the spaces between. Hope y'all are having a lovely Friday-ish. Oh, because life, it is an adventure. And we're being broadcast live tonight on Truth Frequency Radio, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and TalkStream Live. And if you're listening on YouTube, hi. Be patient with me. I'm glad you love me. And make sure you hit the like button because you like seeing me mess up and forget things and stuff. And stuff. So, yeah. And if you want to support the show, it's etsy.com/shop
Hello, my
/
lovelies.
Monarch Mountain Studio, MTN for mountain. And you can go to patreon.com / the spaces between. So, yeah. Hi. Hi, all. Hey, guess what? The call line is open. I got that part done. So that number is 213-233-3998. Or if you're across the pond in the UK, it's 44203-393-2871. And yeah, I'm really glad I can turn on microphones on the fly and all that. So yeah, good times. So Ethan asked, how's Mini-Me? Well, Mini-Me was doing actually really, really well. And then this evening she was complaining about being really cold. And she was all bundled up under the blanket, so I had to take her temperature. And guess what? She's running a fever. Guess what she asked for, Mr. Don?
What'd she ask for?
She asked for Eye Alive.
Am I missing my cues?
Yes,
Eye
you
Alive? Are
Yeah.
you kidding me? You mean
Yeah.
like that CBD oil that
Yeah.
Chris, the owner of TFR, sells?
Yeah, that one. Mm-hmm. I should probably... Do you want to be on screen?
If you want me to.
Okay, cool. There you are.
I think Sonia's flirting with me.
Sonia, are you flirting with Mr. Don? Hey, guys. So I see that we've got Psycho and Berticardi in TFR world, and then over in YouTube land, Cam, Elaine, Ethan, Lewis, Sonia, Titan, Mr. Longbeard should be around there somewhere.
That's me.
And Lewis, and if I missed you, I'm sorry. MCAT was in there earlier.
Cameron's here. He's been on a hiatus.
Yeah. MCAT is driving tonight, I think.
Oh, that might be true, yeah.
So,
he's a driver.
Yep. Drive safe out there, man. Thank you for driving out there amongst all the crazy people, and driving safe too, because, yeah. Oh, man.
What'd you do now?
Oh, I am losing my mind. Apparently, I had a mind at one point, but now I'm just straight up losing it. So, hi, Elaine. Yeah. So
what's new?
So
it's Beltane.
It's Beltane. I have a poem I was going to read. I was going to start off that way, but
You almost made me spit my drink all over me.
that would have been funny. So no, I had a poem I wanted to read, and then I really, really wanted to get my interview with Miss Ellen done and available today. But
what's Ellen's last name?
Oh, it's a long one. Hold on. It's Ellen Everett Hopman. So, and if you go to elleneveretthopman.com, that's her website. And you can see all of her books. She's got 16 books, and she's an awesome author. And for the books that have illustrations, they are phenomenal illustrations, by the way. So she just did a bang-up job, and she's got a couple kids' books. Well, she's got one children's book out now, and she's got one that's going to be coming out in the near future. Not the near, but the near. And she's just an awesome, awesome, dynamic lady who is insanely busy. So she just released a book of course. I wrote all this stuff down, but I don't have my show notes with me. Um, shh. Don't laugh at me.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you.
Oh, you lie.
No, I'm not. I'm laughing with you.
Yeah, okay, sure. It's the it's a book specifically for Beltane. The Sacred Herbs of Spring, if I remember right.
That sounds correct. I don't remember though. I wasn't here for the interview.
And it was a good interview.
Good.
It's yeah. The Sacred Herbs of Spring is the one that just came out, and it's a book ended with the Sacred Herbs of Samhain. So she wrote that, and it came out last fall.
Oh.
She would like to write a book for all of the major holidays, but she's got a lot going on, so we'll see. She does. Oh my gosh, she's got 16 books, and she's writing 2 of them right now. So it'll be 18 books total, and she's got these 2 done. And
well, and the way she does her mentorships and everything too. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, she's so it's the equivalent of a high priestess when it comes
give any information.
to.
Make them listen to
I
it.
know, but she's awesome though. But so she's druid, so she's high priestess is the equivalent. But we talk about it in the interview, and that will be on tomorrow night.
We got a lot of work to do tomorrow, huh?
Mm-hmm. Actually, some, yeah.
All right.
So I may not be live. I may just be observing because it is a pre-recorded interview. So I'll talk to my producer, who is the producer of all things video magic. So seriously,
I don't know who you're talking about.
I've been trying, and
You've been doing a great job.
Yeah, sure. Okay, thank you. I've had a few bumps. So, but no, check out her books, elleneveretthopman.com. And she has had an online, it's not a coven because they're druids, but basically that's what it is, just in the druidic form. And they have members all around the world, and they do their mentorship all around the world, and they have online meetups, which they were doing they were cool and social distancing before it was cool.
Before the cool kids
Yeah,
were cool.
and so it is doable, guys. It's just not as easy as you might think to do a online meetup like that. But no, it's cool. I think it's awesome.
Does she do it like on Zoom or Skype or?
You have to have a special invitation.
Well, I
So
understand,
I don't know.
but
Probably something like Zoom. There's a lot of people using Zoom right now, even though Zoom is not the most secure of
yeah,
things.
but there's a lot of things that aren't really necessarily people aren't really looking at it as a secure means of transferring information. You know,
That's true.
they're looking at it as a spot to be able to get up to 100 friends in one video conference, for free.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I thought it was only like 40 for free or something like that.
So it's 49 free or 50 free, I think. No, it is 100 is free, but it's only 45 minutes
Oh, that's right.
or something like that. So
Well, so I could still, keep my group down because I have less than like 5.
yeah, but even the fees aren't too bad. So if you need a meetup, I would talk to them. Not that I'm recommending them without it's an unsolicited
Oh,
plug.
we've used it a few times.
Yeah, I have actually. I wish, as far as the platform goes, it's easy. It's in a way, it's easier than what we do anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So trying to make the easy thing work with the complicated thing.
Makes it even more complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you were using Zoom with
With the hypnotists.
yes.
I have their little thing
Blooming
over there.
Lotus.
Yeah, Blooming Lotus hypnotists.
Yeah, and so they were on
with Sindel
Zoom.
and
Judge.
Judge. Yep. So that was a Zoom conference, and they do. By the way, it's not an unsolicited plug because I'm happy to plug them. They will do remote hypnotherapy sessions. So it's Blooming Lotus Hypnosis in Spokane, and they're awesome folks too. And just like the rest of us, everybody's going a little crazy right now.
Yeah.
We have here in Idaho, we've had some reduction in the social distancing in phase 1 of going back to normal.
That's just because we refuse to do what the government tells us to do.
Yeah, you anarchist.
No, we're just so horrible.
Well, so here in Sandpoint, we've got a facility called Cedar Street Bridge, and it used to be a main bridge, so there's some historical significance there too. And it's kind of a cool thing. They turned it in. It was a covered bridge, or I don't know quite how it happened, but they turned it into like this string of shops.
Coldwater Creek had it first. That was the original Coldwater Creek building.
Well, somebody had this brainstorm to turn this bridge into a building. So it's still on the wooden piers crossing the creek, and it's a little bitty creek during the dry season, but it more resembles a river during the summer season, and the water's up.
It's pretty cool.
And it is cool. And we have paddleboard races on it and stuff. Not we, as in myself, but the community. And but there's these little shops and everything inside the
boutique type shops.
and boutiques, and there's an arcade.
There's an arcade there now?
There's an arcade there.
Gosh, it's been a long time since I've gone down
downtown. I know, to the arcade. Go downtown to the arcade.
I didn't know there was an arcade there.
They serve beer too.
They do?
Antique arcade games.
Antique? What are you saying?
I'm saying the classics are there.
Oh, now I'm a classic.
Yeah. Well, even pinball machines are there too. So
nice.
But they had a water main broke here about 3 months ago, and it was frustrating because it damaged some of the machines, of course. And because the water was like 8 inches deep, and ended up they decided they just refurbed and they're open. And so today was the first day that Cedar Street Bridge was open, which is cool because we went down to a craft place and Minnie Me crafted a card for her teacher for Teacher Appreciation Week next week.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and so it was pretty cool. We had fun doing that, and it was fun getting out and about. And a friend of mine has a little kiosk there. She's a rockhound type, and she unfortunately is closing the physical store and going online. But she's not quite sure what the transition is going to look like or when it's going to be up and running, which is frustrating because she had some really awesome rocks. There's a basket over there next to the fireplace if you wanted to look in the box of rocks.
Yeah, I like boxes of rocks, I guess. Reminds me of the way I think.
So check out the selenite wand.
Oh, is that for me?
No, that one's for me.
What? I asked you to grab me something, didn't I?
I did.
What is that, like 6 inches?
Something like that.
Yeah, wow. Look at that. I wish I had some better lighting.
Do you want me to put it over here?
Sure.
I've got the better camera.
That thing's awesome.
Yep, so.
Now these are geodes, right?
Yep, those are geodes. And we broke open a couple of them. That's petrified wood.
I know what that is.
So yeah, here's the selenite wand. And then, let's see. What's on the back side? Yeah, that one's for you.
This is for me?
That one's for you. Tell me what they are and I'll Google them.
Stillbite Soulcite. Shoalcite? SCOLECITE. Essential Vibes.
Shoalbite. Oops.
It's in this cute little bag.
Yep.
Come raise your vibe with our crystal gemstones.
How do you spell it again?
It looks like SCOLE. Site, CITE.
Okay. Oh, there we go. That makes more sense. Oh, that's cool looking.
Can I take it out of the bag?
Yeah.
How do you take it out? Oh, it's a drawstring.
Yeah, it's a drawstring.
Oh, here we go.
So, it's considered a light worker stone.
Ooh. And you said this is for me?
Yeah, that one's for you.
Oh, wow. There we go. Light's coming the wrong way, though.
Yes. So Stillbite works with the heart, the third eye, and the crown for chakras. Master number is 33. You're such a derp. It's a soft and delicate crystal.
That I just dropped.
Oh my gosh. Resonates with the vibrations of universal love, opens the heart to overcome fear and loss. It's a calming influence to bring inner peace. And we'll stop with the pop-ups.
Oh, I thought you were talking to me.
Helps to quiet the mind and sleep with it by the bed. It
Oh.
helps with insomnia.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Helps clear the mind of unconscious clutter and creates a state of clear, positive thought and helps the mind to focused.
Huh.
And then, let's see.
Maybe I'll put it under the pillow.
Right?
Wisdom through osmosis.
So, Skullite.
Skullite.
Kind of it's another one of those peace and relaxation.
Mm-hmm.
Helps with sleeping soundly and enhancing meditation.
Oh.
Helps one realize subtle messages from the inner self and from higher sources. Lewis says you better cleanse and program it before you try to use it. It helps with becoming peaceful, bringing balance in times of change and hardship. So yeah, those two work very well together.
Oh. Is that kyanite? It's blue.
I believe so, yes.
So you got like one little piece of kyanite?
Yes, Mini-Me had to pick that one out.
Oh. Oh. Well, that's just quartz. That's a quartz.
Rose quartz point. She picked
Rose
that one
quartz
out
point.
too. She thought you needed rose quartz and kyanite.
Oh, well, kyanite is good for, my, go F you attitude. Because it rejects negative energy.
Oh, maybe you should put it with the other one in the little bag and put it under your pillow. Some lavender. Your tongue's still pierced, right?
Yeah.
Would that fit?
Oh, my God. Really? Now you know I'm going to have to try, right? I can't, actually, because this will splinter like glass.
Yeah, and it'd hurt like a son of a biscuit.
So, what are you in for?
For caca, huh?
That'd be what I was saying.
So yeah, those are geodes.
Yes, these are geodes. What's this here?
I don't know. Mini-Me picked that out of a box, and I don't know. It looks like a tumbled stone, and
It's not tumbled.
like tumbled
Well,
at the
it's-
ocean.
Yeah,
tumbled.
well, yeah, water, eroded.
Water eroded. I wasn't sure what this is vibrations.
So why'd you get all? So what kind of geodes are these?
Well, the ones that have broken open so far are standard quartz crystals.
Oh, that's not exciting.
A friend of mine wants me to road trip down to southern Idaho, and
Oh, because we are the gem state.
yeah, we are the gem state. But a friend of hers has a yard full of geodes and didn't even realize they were geodes. She was using them as like gravel.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh my.
yeah,
Huh.
yeah. So,
Chris says he says he's lucky if he gets 3 hours of sleep a night. Yeah, me too, bud. That's really true for me. Really, really true. So scolanite,
skullite.
scolite,
Skullsite. Sorry.
Skolasite.
Skullsite is considered a light worker's stone. Also, why is it called a light worker's stone? Let me click on the link and see what it says. I wish people would stop and think about what their websites look like if you just kind of glance at it, because artisanal alchemy just doesn't flow right. It doesn't say why. It just helps with light work and meditation for rituals involving peace, dream recall, success, etc.
Huh.
So,
I get that implanted in my head.
right?
Yeah, no doubt. Because otherwise I'll lose it. Wow. And it
Wow.
came in a cute little drawstring bag
Yep.
that now I can't reach.
Hey, I'm not the one to put it away.
I know.
So,
There we go. It's got a little card in it too at the Cedar Street Bridge.
mm-hmm.
So it's called Essential Vibes,
Yep, that's what their little shop was called.
Luna and Cedar Proprietors.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Luna is probably going to join my circle. So,
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Cedar might also, but not quite sure yet. We'll
Huh.
see.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. Hey, you said you had a Beltane poem.
I do have a Beltane poem. Oh, where's the glasses? I'm wearing my contacts. I love wearing my contacts because sometimes I hate wearing glasses. But I'm blind, so I have to wear the readers.
You're blind. No, you can't see. You got to wear some glasses like DMC. Sorry. It's an old song.
All right. So this is a poem by Raven Willow Rune. And it goes for Beltane specifically. And I've got one for Samhain also, for those who are on the opposite side of the world.
Oh, okay.
So, May Day brings a startling sight. Lambs all giddy, skip with delight. Bees are buzzing around the flower. Bunnies hopping in and out of the bower. The god and goddess now are one. The time for mating has now come. The days grow longer, a shorter night. Time to bask in the sun god's light. Join in the fun, dance and sing. Forget the cares that worries bring. Now is the time to leap the fire and attain what you truly desire. Wicker men are set up high, burnt to send wishes to the sky. May queens paraded through the town. White hawthorn flowers adorn the gown. Dancing round the maple faster, children prone in fits of laughter. Ribbons of red and of white, symbolism of the sacred rite. Beltane brings the passion to grow, to reap the benefits of the seeds we sow. Beltane blessings to each one, blessing from the god of sun. Isn't that cute? I like that one.
Cool.
Yeah, very cool. And then
So what does it mean to you?
Plant my garden, but it's not going to get planted.
Of course, I heard the thing about it's time to breed or whatever.
I know, because that's what. Yeah, I know.
Sorry. You got to love certain things about paganism.
I was just thinking about men in general. You just have to, Oh, no, Lewis was asking, is that an arrowhead? No, there's no arrowhead. We're just showing some rocks that we got. See, selenite one.
Now I'm jealous. I want that one at 0 point.
That one is awesome, and I would rather get you that one than this one.
The dagger,
Mhm.
the selenite dagger.
It's this big.
It's not that big.
It's huge.
It was tanto bladed, so it's chiseled at the tip. It's awesome.
It is awesome. It is very awesome.
It's only like
Yeah,
I think it was only like $170 or
something like that. This is 12.
Yeah, but it's not shaped.
They had another one that was shaped. It was it came to a point and it had a spiral on it, so it looked like a unicorn horn. It really did.
Why didn't you get that one?
Because actually it hurt my hand when I picked it up.
Really?
Yeah, the energy of it.
So why not this one?
I don't know, this one, I connected with this one just right away.
Huh.
I don't know why. But yeah, this one feels right, so I kept picking it up, so I figured, all right, well, that means I need to just, and I did. I kept going back to it, so. And then the friend I was with, she got an oval, and so did
Oval selenite?
did a little bit of chakra cleansing with her with the wand this morning, or when we got back, and yeah, she noticed it. She could feel the energy. So, and she's probably currently passed out because it was just exhausting.
Gosh, hit me with it once, would you?
Hold still.
Hold still. Oh.
Oh, the brown long thing? This. Okay, so this is not an arrowhead. This is actually my
Pendulum.
pendulum, yes, thank you. My brain's not working.
What's it made out of?
This is petrified wood,
What?
wire wrapped with glass beads.
And why petrified wood for your pendulum?
Uh,
Did you Did you did you wrap it or did somebody else wrap it?
I wrapped it.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that. So white petrified wood.
I like it. And then Mini Me picked out the beads and told me where to put them. And it's like, all right, well, I'm assuming, I'm just going to go with it because it's,
And the end result is?
I like it. Actually, it's been really, it's worked well for me. So petrified wood is a stone of perseverance and spiritual transformation.
Oh.
Which...
It's apropos.
Yeah, pretty much. So, yeah. And hey, guess what? It's break time already.
Huh.
Yeah.
Break time.
Break time. So we'll be right back, everybody.
Thanks for being with us. Hit that like button.
Mother of darkness, mother of light, earth beneath us, soul in flight, songs of love and love of life, guide us to our heart. Mother of darkness, mother of light, earth beneath us, soul in flight, songs of love and love of life, guide us to our heart.
Sisters of the shining moon, heaven, earth, and sea, I call upon you in this hour, bring magic unto me. Brothers, oh, the cauldron cries, it singeth unto me the songs of Mother Goddess and the Father in the tree.
Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between. And we are live on Truth Frequency Radio, iHeartRadio, Tune In, and TalkStream Live, and on YouTube. So, yeah. How goes it all?
Well, at least you remembered to turn your microphone on.
I know. I even transitioned everything correctly this time.
Wow.
Yeah, it was good. So yes, Bon Marie, yeah, cleansing under the full moon. If that's your gig, you can also do it under the dark moon. You can also do it under the high noon sun, or you can use the selenite wand or sheet to do some of that cleansing. There's a shop in town that has like these tablets of selenite. They're huge. They're like half again this big, like a cutting board of
What?
selenite. They're huge.
I didn't see those.
Yeah, they're ginormous. And yeah, it was pretty freaking awesome. So,
Huh.
yeah. So, I get a publication. It's called The Wild Hunt.
Mm-hmm.
It's pagan news and perspectives.
Sure.
And there's yeah, man, this physical distancing that we've been doing.
Social distancing.
It's
Be politically correct.
well,
Don't be correct. Just be politically correct.
right. They are noticing a rise in mental health disorders because people are not having that connection. And we as pagans have noticed it because there's a real sensory aspect to paganism, whether it's, burning incense or working with stones or anything like that. It's really had a big impact. I mean, already the pagan community was a little bit isolated from the rest of the world just because paganism isn't as readily accepted as, say, Catholicism. And anyways, in that physical contact or that interaction and companionship, the fellowship, it's hard to get for pagans, And yeah, sure, you're still connecting via Zoom or phone or et cetera, but it's the
physicality.
sometimes you just need a hug,
The physicality.
Yeah.
What the hell was that?
It is a power water.
Oh, don't drink that crap. God, that's so bad for you.
It's mango flavored.
Yeah, it's so bad for you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's an artificial sweetener in here that'll rot out my innards.
Pretty sure there's a couple things in there that'll rot you out from the inside out.
Which is really sad because it tastes good.
Tastes can be deceiving.
Of course they can, because, like some artificial flavors are actually, skunk oil.
I'll just leave that one there.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I got you off track again,
Yep. So, anyways, don't be afraid to reach out if you're having some serious depression issues.
Mm-hmm.
Call someone, phone a friend, send me an email if you need to. I do check those regularly. But what is it? What is it that you need? Don't be afraid to reach out. So, those hugs will be coming soon. We'll be gathering physically again, which I think will be good because we just need it. That's all there is to it.
Mm-hmm. So anyhow.
So,
was there a story you were going to read? Or
yeah. So, I'd kind of glanced at this, but it was interesting because a lot of people are reading right now, and a lot of libraries are making more content available online or via
Virtual
electronic.
libraries, yes.
And it's really helped with the coronavirus and being remote, remote viewing the library. The pagan community has discovered that books regarding witchcraft, paganism, and like LGBTQ issues, they're lumping them all together, which is weird to me because one of those things is really not like the other. Those are not being uploaded as fast or as often, and it's a disproportionate. So, a lot of those libraries are uploading books that are more mainstream.
Fiction, fantasy.
Yeah, but
It was adjusted history.
yeah, so there's just not as much, or the percentage of uploaded pagan and witchcraft type books just isn't there, and so they're actually noticing it, and librarians are stepping up to it, stepping up to the plate, and they're challenging, some of the requirements. So there's like the pagan librarians group. It's not a union, but it's a group. They're basically saying, hey, listen, everybody needs to get their materials. Go ahead and upload some of these too. So, it's bizarre to me a little bit that even here it is, the 21st century. We're still dealing with not being able to see dawn, but no, we're still dealing with persecution.
Well, that's not surprising.
Well, it is a little bit to me because maybe I live rurally and feel pretty accepted for the most part here locally, but in the wider community, I don't know. I know that my own family doesn't know a lot, and that's just because.
Yeah, but you come from a steeped family in Christian traditions.
Yeah, very, very steeped. It's very muddy. It's so steeped. So I don't know. Some things I guess maybe I'm a little more naive about it, or just maybe I'm more open-minded than the average person. Even before I embraced being a pagan, it's like, put it out there. Those that are going to wander from the path of Christianity are going to wander from the path of Christianity. They'll either come back or they won't. And
It's the whole set the bird free if it comes back, thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Too sappy for me, though.
Yeah. I saw a cartoon. Same basic thing, except for it was a guy leaning out a window with his wife, hanging on to his wife. Well, she loves you. Set her free. If she comes back, it was meant to be. It was a coronavirus lock-in type cartoon. So,
boy, I tell you, people are bored.
People are
TikTok
bored.
videos are just going off the hook.
Oh my gosh. Yes, there's some kid with a 2-liter bottle of Coke and some, what are those?
Mentos? What?
Mentos, yes. And someone challenged him that he wouldn't be able to drink the whole 2-liter bottle of
You can't even
soda.
get it. It doesn't even, yeah.
He about drowned himself. It went up his nose, came out his eyeballs. It was just insane.
Wow. So the story you were going to read.
And so, no, that was it.
Oh.
Talking about,
Just
just talking about, not really reading it, but it was.
it was a story about the library, not the mental health.
Yeah.
Oh, but
But the mental health
right.
is a thing. And,
Part of it,
I don't know. I do want to mention the mental health part because I think it's important that we are aware that our neighbors, they may just be across the wall from you if you're in an apartment complex or whatever.
Modern cave.
Yeah, modern cave. You live in an egg crate. Sorry, guys. But if that's the case, make sure you're reaching out and knocking on your neighbor's door and just ask them how they're doing.
Just social distance yourself.
Yeah, leave a sticky note on the door saying, "Hey, how are you?"
Ring the doorbell, run back to your door. How you doing?
Well, this would be a really good time for those May baskets. So May baskets used to be a thing because May 1st is May Day.
Right.
And interesting thing there. May Day was significantly much more popular here in the U.S. up until I think the Russians had
Yeah, you mentioned this last week.
yeah International Workers' Day or Labor Day,
Mm.
and so it was a big march and all that stuff. And
We can't have anything to do with the Russians.
well, it's during the Cold War, so yeah.
Horrible.
I know. But yeah, it's even though tomorrow's May 2nd, it's the weekend. Go ahead, make some paper flowers, put a card, say hey, happy May or whatever.
You remember how you folded paper and then took scissors and cut the little
And
made
it's like
little-
snowflowers or whatever, snowflakes.
snowflakes?
Yeah,
They can be called flowers.
well, snowflowers. Mini-Me likes them a lot. She makes confetti all over the place with those things. But so yeah, leave a May basket or a May note or whatever. Hey, how's it going? And just check on your neighbors. Hopefully, the social distancing thing is on the outswing. But
Doubt it.
yeah, I heard a rumor that there's some story. There's a new report on it almost daily, and of course, none of these new reports agree on anything. That we could be doing this clear into like the middle of 2022.
Well, and somebody said, "Oh, this will be done by June or July." I'm like, "No, it won't, because it'll be so." In the middle of April, they said, "Oh, 2 more weeks," and so here we are, 2 more weeks, and we've got another 2 more weeks,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll have 2 more weeks, and then we'll have 2 more weeks, and then we'll have 2 more weeks. And if you believe what Governor Little says, it's a 4-phase process. Each one's going to take 2 weeks. Oh my God. Hope they set us free so we can celebrate our freedom on Independence Day.
Did you hear about the armed protest in Michigan?
No.
Yeah, they're protesting the governor in Michigan.
That's the gal, right?
Yeah, the one who said that car seats were not necessary items to purchase during the
What?
coronavirus. Yeah, you didn't see that?
No, but I did. We were at Walmart one day,
Mm-hmm.
and we asked the gal at Walmart, "Well, what's the deal with non-essential flower seeds or vegetable seeds?" And they said that's only in just a couple counties or a couple states. It's the governors that are choosing that, and that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Okay. I'll be back.
All right. So the sky just fell. So yeah, good times. This virus thing. Just be aware that physical distancing and social distancing should be 2 entirely different things. Wear a mask if you need to. It's not political leanings one way or another. If you're wearing a mask, just do it. Be safe. Use some common sense and be well. Be safe. Wash your hands. Anyways, so on Truth Frequency Radio, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we do open mic. And it is streaming only, so it's only on Truth Frequency Radio, and it's hosted by Lucky One. And then she has invited all of the hosts of Truth Frequency Radio programming to drop in and have kind of a roundtable discussion about the coronavirus and different things going on. And I am in there quite often, and so if you want to hear me go on about all random sorts of political things rather than pagan things, join us there. So that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific time. So Titan asks, any particular music that I listen to during this time, or does it matter? So it kind of varies with what I'm doing, what my mood is. As far as music goes, I listen to a lot of pagan Celtic type music, just because I like it. I also I'm very eclectic in what I listen to. I'm just as likely to listen to blues music as I am to alternative rock. So yeah, it varies. Um, let's see. Hi, Marie. Pass down to. So just reading. Wow. Yeah.
Wow, what?
Stage level. They've passed down to level 4 quarantine. So
Who?
in South Africa, so
Oh.
people can start returning to work. So yeah.
Oh, I was just
Um,
about to say. I wonder. I haven't seen Mary Bond in a while,
Yeah,
and
Mary Bond.
that's who she's. Who's?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's so much chick. So yeah, and Shizu Boogaloo. So yeah, it's I don't know. I think it's just interesting. Coronavirus blues. You're funny, Cam. Yeah, I'll listen to just about anything. Some music gets listened to for longer periods of time than others. Mr. Don listens to some interesting music that just is not my thing, but I can generally hear him drive up in the car with the XM radio. Did you know that you can feel the bass in here when you turn that radio up?
Do you know I'm going to get pulled over someday because of it?
It's freaking hilarious.
It's not hilarious.
How old are you? Aren't you like a 50-cent piece just about?
Brent turned 51 today. Happy birthday, Brent.
Happy birthday, Brent. Yes. Happy birthday, Brent. I said happy birthday to him earlier, but so yeah, you're old enough.
Tight. Good one, Titan. Titan says, Cam, I don't always listen to Iron Maiden, but when I do, the neighbors do too. Oh, that's good.
Oh, tin whistle. That'd be fun. Bomber has a tin whistle.
Oh.
So,
MCAT.
talking about Mayday just a little bit. Why is it when I try to read something, I get a pop-up as soon as I start reading it? So, Mayday, which is today. Hey, Julia. Started off. So, Mayday really is. It's a celebration of Beltane. I don't care how you put it, but Mayday and Beltane are the same thing. And the origins are, it's one of the Celtic cross-quarter days, which is celebrated midway points between all solstices and equinoxes of the year. Yeah, also known as Beltane.
I'm sorry.
Get one? What am I supposed to get? Oh, is it tin whistle? I think it'd be fun. Yeah.
Jake. Sorry, tin whistle, yes. But you were talking about...
So Mayday is rooted in agriculture, of course, and just like Beltane, springtime celebrations filled with dance and song hailed the sown fields that are starting to sprout. Not here because it's not quite that warm yet.
No.
Buffering blues, right? So bringing in the May is celebrated with bringing in May baskets, and it happens every year on the 1st of May. Maypole dance, seriously. It's yeah. May Day is celebrated with the Maypole dance and the May Queen, which is a Beltane thing. But yeah, the strict Puritans of New England considered the celebrations of May Day to be licentious and pagan, so they forbade its observance. But it's a big deal. Apparently, colleges during the 60s and 70s really liked having, maypole dances. But if you don't have flowers, seed packets with flowers, like flower seeds, are also acceptable, gifts instead of flowers. So.
Oh, right.
So, yeah, similar thing, but
because I have time.
Right. In Hawaii, it's called Lei Day, like flowers.
Mm-hmm. Like LEI.
LEI. So you can also decorate a hawthorn bush with ribbons, and often if you are going to tie a ribbon on a hawthorn bush, you're doing it with intention, similar to like a wishing well. So what is it you're hoping for or wishing for? You tie the knot with the use natural fibers like cotton, and tie it on the branch. So and the birds will unravel it and use the strings and stuff for the nest.
That's a great idea.
But yeah, you're just kind of putting your thoughts out there. So. And then because you can't say Mayday without Mayday, which is French for help me. Seriously.
What? Okay. Wow.
I know you finished up the article with, hey, also it's pronounced Mayday. So Kentucky Derby starts off is tomorrow too.
Big deal.
I know, right? It's just a big deal apparently to some people.
Now, what day is it that we're supposed to stop wearing white?
In my world, that is every day. I don't wear white.
No,
Do you know
there was this tradition that like on May Day
it's like
you either
Labor Day
you
or
stopped
something, Memorial Day.
wearing
I don't know. I don't understand that. I am not fashion forward.
I'm always been fashion backwards, so I guess that works.
I am fashion comfortable. So
all right, well anyhow. So sorry I missed that
is all okay?
whatever you read.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately I don't even know what it is.
But let's see.
You're getting tired, aren't you?
I am tired. It's been a long day. Mini-me. I would love for her to go to school for a couple days. She wakes up at 5 o'clock. And you know how toddlers walk up to you when you're asleep and they stare at you until you wake up? She does that. But she's added a really, really new twist. She has started petting my face. Just stroking my face real lightly, real gently, with her hot, sweaty hands until I wake up.
That drives me nuts.
Yes. That was at 5:30 this morning. So yes, I am tired. There's no coffee. I should have had coffee. This has got B vitamins in it. Shouldn't that wake me up?
Sure. The other stuff in it'll kill you. You really shouldn't do that.
What?
Because it comes through the microphone just beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
So anyhow, what else?
So I don't know. My plan for the evening for my show was just kind of we bought some geodes, and Mini-Me wanted to crack them open if oh gosh, that kid. She took a cutting board and a washcloth out there with the hammer, and she put the cutting board on the cement, and then she put the rock inside the washcloth and smacked it with the hammer. Because the idea is,
Well, who told her did she just do it?
Oh, we were talking about what to do, so the little pieces wouldn't get lost, because we like to go, outside barefoot occasionally, and I didn't want,
Yeah.
anyways, shards of crystals into my toes. Not my idea of a good time. And she darn near took out the back window of the car.
What?
She hit it just right. The rock goes ping, and it bounced off the bumper. I'm like, ah! And
She about took out the back window.
yeah,
of the car.
because the rock went it just went zing, and then she went and picked it up, and she set it back down, wrapped it back up in the washcloth, and tapped it a few times, and then she hit herself in the leg like 3 or 4 times, ricocheted off the house. So yeah, it was just.
Is there a recommended way to do this?
I'm sure there is.
Could she have just wrapped it in the towel and just like whacked it on the concrete?
All I can think is, man, I should have YouTubed this because it's flipping hilarious.
It's a box opening video.
It was, because she was bound and determined. She would have opened all of them, and except for, it's like, no, let's wait and do some more tomorrow. And
do you want to open all of them?
I don't know what I want to do with them. but they're in the little basket, so I don't know. It was fun. It was fun to open them, but I do, by the way, want to road trip down to southern Idaho because down right along the Idaho-Utah border, you can go jade hunting,
Okay.
and then
There's garnet mines all over down there.
Black Tree called it an unrocking.
Oh, God.
An unrocking.
It's an unrocking video.
Yeah, unrocking.
It's anti-rocking.
Anti-rocking. But then there's the opal mines. Those would be fun to go to. And then I guess there's geodes all over southern Idaho.
Mm.
Something about when the railroad came through, the Chinese road. Break time. We'll be back. Wow, that was fast.
Scared the crap out of me.
Yeah, just a little bit. Goodness gracious. We'll be right back.
Forever done.
Mother of darkness, mother of light, earth beneath us, soul in flight, songs of love and love of life, guide us to our heart. Mother of darkness, mother of light, earth beneath us, soul in flight, songs of love and love of life, guide us to our heart.
I don't think we have bumper music.
No, no bumper music.
Hello, my lovelies.
Hi, Lucky.
Hey,
Sorry
Lucky.
you're late. Calling you out. You did it
How's
to yourself,
it
though.
going? everybody. So we're being broadcast live, of course, on Truth Frequency Radio, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, uh,
TalkStream.
TalkStream Live. For crying out, I am tired.
Oh, well.
Oh goodness. So yes, um, I have noticed, and this is something that I believe that when Rick was on the other day, Woods Wizard, he mentioned that a lot of our traditions these days, whether you're trying to revitalize an old religion or an old version of paganism, or creating something new, a lot of the foundations of paganism are through a Christian lens.
Mm-hmm.
And I suppose that's part of the reason why I'm not much of a traditionalist when it comes to paganism. I consider myself more of an eclectic, is because I know that Christian lens is there. Now, some of them, I'm sure they wrote down that information because they were scholars and they wanted the knowledge, and that's why they wrote things down. But I can't help but wonder, how much of the histories that we read about paganism have been skewed.
Christianized.
Yeah. Well, I know Christians used a lot of it to, writing that stuff down, to villainize, paganism and witchcraft. And instead of trying to show the positive side of paganism or witchcraft, they were trying to show the dark side. I think that's why it's so associated with Satanism and stuff. It's like, oh, you're a witch.
Is irony.
I know, right? Yes, 100% irony. Because I don't know a whole lot of Satanist pagans or witches. I know they're out there just because there are Christian witches. But there's a lot of witchcraft within Christianity itself. What did Moses do? There were miracles, right? Are you sure they weren't witchcraft?
Well, that would be all the saints. They have to perform 3 miracles to become saints.
Yeah, so are all the saints then witches?
I am biting my tongue on this one.
So,
Look, he says, can we say that the accounts of paganism was crossed?
dum. Sure.
Crossed those T's and dotted your
Exactly. So yeah, I think
They had to assimilate a certain amount of paganism
Mhm.
to convince the pagans, heathens, all of them, to convert to their, oh, see, but we celebrate this, but we call it that. We celebrate this, but we call it that. We don't do that anymore, so this is what we do for celebration. Dancing around a maypole, that's a phallic symbol. We don't do that. Whatever.
yes, Cam, your old friend will be quite confused. He says, my old friend who is a pastor is going to be confused when I tell him I'm a witch, and I'm also reading the Bible and own a copy of the Mahabharata.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what the Mahabharata is.
I'll look it up.
I'm going to have to, because that's a big word, and I'm totally hoping I said it right. Mahab.
So, yeah, I mean, well, we've talked about this before, the
Oh, it's a Sanskrit epic
Mhm.
of ancient India.
Ah. So, it just doesn't matter. To the victor go the spoils, and that also includes the rewriting of histories and the burning of books and the deleting of that knowledge. So there's no way, unless somebody can really come across some more, I should say more, viable accounts of paganism pre-Christian.
I bet you there's some in the Roman libraries in the basement.
Not going to say anything about that.
I know it's a different show. That's your show because you're the archivist.
No, it's not my show. Well, define my show. I don't have a show.
You should. You talk about the archives, but I think there is some out there, but I also think it is 100%, or okay, almost 100% shut away
Right? Yeah.
and
Yeah.
inaccessible by.
Well, yeah, because the knowledge is power, and as long as you can,
Mhm.
as long as you can hold the power, you have the knowledge, you have the power. Which is always why I tell people, don't tell people that. Don't say that. Don't tell them that. don't don't give that information away. You're giving away your power. You're giving away yourself. You're giving away what makes you you, and you're letting people know how to manipulate you. And that goes with the traditions, the different traditions as well, because they manipulated those traditions to sheeple the mind.
Yeah, she pulled mind.
But and that's why it's important to really understand what Beltane's about, Samhain, Ostara. It's really important to understand what those are, as they mean, and there's no 100%. Nobody knows really. I guess if you listen to Aerith, though, Aerith is pretty close to that kind of stuff.
Well, he's
though.
he's an archaeologist though as part of it, and he's a teacher. So I mean, that was what his day job was or is. He does all these videos and everything too, but it's because he's Aerith Hargar.
Harder. Yeah.
He has a YouTube channel, talks about the Nordic traditions,
Mhm.
and very informative, very interesting. Kind of an odd duck, but he's interesting.
He has a great way to tell stories.
He's a good storyteller. And the flow is good. He knows what he's talking about at the beginning of his show. But they're all pre-recorded and loaded. They're not live.
Yeah, he does. He puts a lot of production into it.
Which is fine, though, and because in a way it really gives you an ability to control the message and not yawn, which I'm trying not to do. So,
But that's the whole thing is making sure that you can get across the proper information extracted from these mostly Christianized sagas and
Right.
stories and myths, and being able to discern what is Christian dogma and what is not.
right.
And so pretty much when you distill out the paganism and you leave the Christian dogma behind, I think you're getting pretty darn close. So,
Yeah. Because, that dogma is everywhere. And unfortunately, pagans and witches have their own dogma as well.
yeah, well, everybody does. I mean,
yeah,
but those are, I don't want to say those are, well, that's what makes traditions traditions.
hmm
I mean, honestly, we don't do it that way. Well, but we do. Okay, well, we'll accept it. I mean, that's all you have to do is go, well, okay, that's the way you do it. Great.
Mhm.
And you do you. So, but I mean, that doesn't mean we have to go to war over, because we turn to the left instead of to the right.
hmm
Or maybe I should say we turn to the left, not the right. No, we turn to, gosh, I'm tired too.
Different path.
Yes, different paths. We all take different paths.
Yeah. Apparently we should have had another cup of coffee at some point today.
Yeah, like you said, I'm supposed to go get you a cup of coffee, but coffee at this time is verboten.
Yeah, you're right though. There is dogma in every walk, every path, because it is the tradition. Now, the thing is, you really can't allow those traditions to bind you up and tie your hands.
Right.
Um,
And that's exactly what they've done.
There's
Well, I was meaning Christianity. That's what
Christianity is
Not the
pretty bound
traditions.
up in dogma and in some ways they cannot change.
Well, they
Yeah.
can't because they would have. I'm still stuck on the Christian part. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's where we're at. It's hard for Christianity to change because the foundation of it is so absolute, and you just have to believe what it says because that's absolute.
It's faith.
It's faith.
You have
Absolutely.
to have faith.
Right. I have faith.
That's selenite.
I know. It's awesome. But you know, they mistake faith and spirituality and religion. Those three words are not necessarily interchangeable, and I've said that before. So without some of that dogma or tradition, it's hard to carry on from one year to the next. And honestly, that those traditions, the verbal traditions that have been passed down, that's about all we have right now of the true pagan path or a lot of the pagan traditions. But it's even that is not what it was, 2,000 years ago.
Right.
Because if anybody's ever played the telephone game, things change.
Right.
Pronunciation, enunciation, flow, rhythm, all of that varies a little bit. And so it's remembered slightly from one generation to the next.
Different.
Yeah. That's why people in the U.S. from 200 years ago would not probably understand a single thing we say today.
No, not at all. Go back and try to read anything by Chaucer in the original Old English.
It's a struggle, yes.
Oh yeah, yeah. That'd be that's like, yeah.
Interesting, but yes.
Did you know A Knight's Tale was written by Chaucer?
Mhm.
He was in his own book. Oh goodness. Anyhow, it's allegorical. Sorry.
Yes, very allegorical.
So, but yeah, you're going back to that Christian lens. That's just that, but that's all we know. The bulk of us that grew up in the Christian communities, if not traditions, Abrahamic traditions, whatever you want to call those.
Well, shoot, even Christianity is metamorphosed over the years.
Sure.
It's not what it was.
Well, and then
I would say I wouldn't say 2,000 years ago. I'd say 1,800 years ago.
Right.
Because 2,000 years ago, in theory, it wasn't really there.
True, but now I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, well, but it goes back to the Old Testament.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about these people that the black belts from the old days that are all hellfire and brimstone, and you're going to hell because of the Ten Commandments, and and so they still hold on to those beliefs. Not necessarily saying Christ wasn't the Son of God, Christ wasn't the new prophet, whatever you want to call him, but Christ said, all those things that went before me are now behind me, essentially, and that all you have to do is what I say now, or how you have to do as I do, is more to what he said. So the Old Testament is there for knowing what was said, not to be followed by Jesus.
Dun-dun-dun.
On blind faith. You're supposed to have faith in Christ and therefore in God. But people forget that, and they're all hellfire and brimstone, Old Testament kind of stuff. And
Well, but they pick and choose
they
what
do. They cherry pick the Bible like you wouldn't believe.
I was brought up that the Bible was the Bible. You embrace the Bible in its entirety, period. And it didn't make sense that, or as I became more of a grown up and saw things differently, it's like, why are people picking and choosing things out of the Bible? Because it's not an a la carte menu.
It's called control.
Um,
Control. It's all about control and manipulation and, being able to have the power of knowledge.
hmm
I know the Bible, therefore I am the knowledge.
Well, it's like that movie Book of Eli.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the person with the Bible is in theory going to be able to lead the masses.
That was kind of an awesome twist.
It's a good movie. But then I like Denzel Washington. I think, generally speaking, he's a good actor.
As long as we keep other things out of it, yes.
hmm
But you're right. I mean, what would people do if we didn't have the sagas and the
The Eddas?
the Eddas? Yes.
I don't know.
I mean, those are really the only things that are really connecting us back to. Well, we're talking about Norse
Mhm.
tradition, though. Back to the old tradition
Mhm.
and
Well,
the
then
old Norse
even
type tradition. Yeah.
even that though are often written were
Is
often
subject to
recorded
translation.
to Christian whims when they were written down because they were verbal stories.
That's true.
Um,
And, well, I forgot the name, but there is one. Oh gosh, I can't remember. But the one of the most famous translations, I can't remember who it's by, but it by far makes more sense than other translations. But it was translated from like Norse to something. I forgot. I don't even know where I'm going with that.
well, that translation though kind of brings to mind what we were talking about here a couple weeks back. That the failing of the binding
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
of the Christian faith. And it's I really do feel that as the Bible is translated differently and such,
Mm-hmm.
it's and fewer people are embracing Christianity, that binding on the elder gods is failing, and they really are going to be
Well, and all this
out in the world more.
and all this goings on with the I'm gonna say alleged human trafficking, being tied back to religions and governments and things like that. I think people are finally waking up to some of this,
Mm-hmm.
and they're changing their minds. They're having a spiritual awakening that's bringing back the old traditions, because the jaded faith, the jadedness of the religion, jaded religions, whatever. My God, people are just jaded with religion in general,
Mm-hmm.
and they're looking for something new, of course, so,
Mm-hmm.
or something old.
Mm-hmm. Which is interesting because, like right now with the coronavirus, you'd think people would be turning more towards what they grew up with,
Hmm.
and because it's a comfort,
It's supposed to be.
and instead they're doing TikTok videos, but instead they're connecting with their families more, and they're uh, looking inward, I think, more
Hmm.
rather than outwards towards that Christian path.
Well, it seems like the Christian path is directly related to the most charismatic leader.
Mm-hmm.
He who has more charisma wins more peoples.
In theory.
And you're following not necessarily what Christ said, but what the interpretation of that charismatic is
Mm-hmm.
interpreting it as. And that is called brainwashing.
Mm-hmm. Well, And then, with everybody being financially stressed, they have the TV evangelists, which I want to just, I've never liked them. I wish I could get, okay, no, I won't go there. I was going to say, I wish I could get on TV and talk about my religion all the time and have people send me money.
Well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, right?
But I don't have this big glossy pulpit and I'm not franchised out like that.
Right. Well,
So-
you know, I think what's happened is when even though they weren't technically told to close their doors, they were supposed to reduce the flow and the less people gathering together, and these people who got ticketed for gathering in the parking lot in their cars, that was bullshit. Anyhow, but when people got separated from their pastors, their priests, their fathers, their monsignors, their whatever you want to call them, they realized that they had to rely on somebody other than that crutch. And so maybe some of them turned more towards the family unit as their spiritual connection. And hopefully they found some truth in their own interpretations.
Oh, I hope so.
So
Or at least their own spirituality rather than, or reconnected with their spirituality rather than their religion. Because for me, I really do feel that Christianity is 100% a dogmatic religion with very little spirituality. Now, that's not to say that there aren't some true spiritual people within Christianity, because there are. I've met some of them, and it's they're not necessarily fervent to the point of insanity, although there is that too. But being educated and being spiritually aware on the Christian path is someone I can talk to, because they're trying to communicate and educate rather than be the loudest shouter. And because I don't need the loudest shouter. If I wanted that, I would irritate.
because all
Many
they do
me.
and all they would do is they just keep shouting. It doesn't matter if you keep telling them that you understand. They're just going to shout louder and new things at you, and things will change. Just like you were talking about, the change in the dogma, the loosening of the grip of the charismatic, the fading of the binding, if you will, and the disillusionment in general.
And I think there's a lot of that disillusionment because, a lot of the folks that were more devout with Christianity right now are elderly, and right now with this virus killing off a bunch of them, which is not good. And I'm sure they're praying, their families are praying, and they're not getting anything.
You know what strikes me as interesting, and I've seen this meme a couple times, and it probably is true to a certain point. Oh my God, I just remembered something I read just a bit earlier. But how much has Benny Hinn, Joel Osteen, not Billy Graham, his son, Graham, I can't remember his name. Anyhow, how much have they, put towards the betterment or the research or the betterment of people during this time? How much charity have they put out? With all the millions that they make.
Yeah, I mean, right now it's
How much? Why are they not investing in their faith? Their people, their congregations will determine how successful they are. And all they keep doing is saying, "Bring me your money." So
right. Yeah, and right now people are having financial stress.
yeah,
A lot of people are having serious, significant financial stress.
yes, and they just keep
And
So for your donation of $100, I will pray for you.
Yeah, well,
You're just gonna go down a list of common names and go, oh, I pray for so and so and so and so, and you have no connection with them other than your pocketbook.
right? You can't buy your way into heaven. I wish people would remember that and stop sending people like that money.
Do you know? I read an article either today or yesterday saying, what's that girl's name? The climate change girl,
Oh yeah,
Greta.
Greta. Yeah.
She's, and I don't want to get into this too much, but here's my point. Apparently, she's put up $100,000 to help in the research of finding a cure. Blah 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 blah. That kind of thing. But none of these, and here's the point: none of these spiritual healers have I heard. Spiritual healers. I love those words. These faith healers,
hmm
they're not doing anything. From
Well,
what I-
and yeah, I've got mixed feelings on her, anyways. But she's not June. It's a break already. Can you believe that?
Lord, the sun,
We'll be right back, guys.
Bye.
3 minutes.
will
Peace in 3.
of the shining moon, heaven, earth, and sea, I call upon you in this hour, bring magic unto me. Brothers, oh, the cauldron cries, it singeth unto me, the songs of Mother Goddess and the Father in the tree.
Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild. I'm off adventuring into the spaces between, dragging Mr. Don Longbeard, kicking and screaming all the way into the backwoods.
Did we happen to mention today's Beltane? Well,
Oh, that escalated slightly.
Sure. Wow.
So, by the way, Beltane, thinning of the veil. Yeah, I'm just gonna ignore you now.
You started.
I know I did. That went somewhere I was not really planning on going. Yes, I am tired. It's past my bedtime.
Goodness.
This whole being quarantined, I go to sleep at weird hours and wake up at weird hours, and the schedule would be good again.
You know, my schedule really hasn't changed. I get up from not sleeping, and I go to work from not sleeping, and go to bed not sleeping, and getting up not sleeping.
Yeah. So Titan, I have my in-house altar done, yes, and but I have a spot I want to put one outside, and I just haven't done that yet. I'm currently in physical therapy and trying to not overdo things, and that's part of my problem, I think. So yeah. So anyways, what I was going to say is that Beltane is what we're celebrating here on the north side of the equator, but on the south side of the equator, they're celebrating Samhain, which is not Halloween down there. It's May Day. It's just the seasons are different because they're, the harvest season is wrapping up rather than the growing season starting, and so right now we're in the middle of a thin part of the veil. So you may be visited by your ancestors this evening or last night or tomorrow night. Tonight, tomorrow night. It's really about a week before and after that you can really start. You can do stuff, and be aware. Your guides may be reaching through and trying to send you a message while you're sleeping, and your subconscious is running amok. And then be careful what you're doing. Just like I always say, leave the Ouija board alone. Now is not the time to experiment. There's never a time to experiment with that one. I was talking to someone the other day, and they said a Ouija board isn't that much different than like a spirit board for like a pendulum. It's like, well, maybe not, but it's different because a Ouija board is specifically to connect the spirits. You can use a pendulum to detect ley lines and use ley energy and such. So
it's a different intent.
It's a different energy. So
and
just
that makes sense. I mean, there's one thing a Ouija board's good for, or even a spirit board, or whatever you want, an angel board. They're all the same.
Exactly. So just use caution. Lots and lots of caution. So in looking for Beltane, it's interesting, or researching Beltane, I came across a lot of Samhain stuff. And so I figured for those Southern Hemisphere folks, I've got a chant here. Whose is this? I'm not sure whose it is or who wrote this one. There's no name to it. So, open the moon in this Samhain night and let the gods bless us with their light. Dark crone, lovely one, who descends into the valley only to rise anew. My beloved mother, let me not forget who I am, who I was, and who I will be then. May the spiritual wisdom come from the great tree I once left, for to it I will return when my time is done here in this realm. It's a chant, not a poem. Blessed Father of the fiery skies, brighten my path through the Isle of the Dead, and allow my spirit to reach the Summerlands, so that my soul can be nurtured by the voices of my past. In perfect love and in perfect sync, this plea I ask in the sacred Hallows Eve. Blessed be. And so a lot of pagan chants and such are rhyming, and that's partly because it's easier to remember them if they're rhyming, the certain
The
rhythm
cadence,
to them,
yeah.
yeah, the cadence to them. But a lot of that's not necessary, and honestly, the deities, if you're trying to ask them for help or guidance, or your spirit guides or whatever, asking for guidance and help, you just need to put your energy into it and put yourself out there and speak the words. You don't necessarily have to make them fancy words or pretty words.
Right, yeah.
It's the message.
Yeah.
And there's been a few times when I've done like the bay leaf burning, or I'll write down a message and burn it in a flame to let the smoke carry away the message. I'll write a couple of words because the words are what I want to, and I just can't really put them into a sentence.
The manifestation of the
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah, it's because my thought or what I want to communicate is like this, but I only have this much space to write it in. I'm not a genie. So yeah. I don't know. What are your thoughts about Beltane and Samhain and spirits and thinning of the veil?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's hard for me to
Your professional
grasp the spirit moving stuff
Okay.
because it's non-tangible. And I've said this on the portal a million times. I mean, it's easy for me to believe that there is some kind of higher power, spiritual being, whatever, but that's got nothing to do with manifest. It's one of these slippery slopes that I get myself into sometimes, because I don't necessarily believe in ghosts. So it feeds along the lines of spirit manifestations.
Mm-hmm.
For me, mostly it's just reject the negative, accept the positive, don't put out negative, and put out the positive. And if, like I've said before, if there seems to be something moving me around, just acknowledge it. But I'm still going to be hard-headed about, the tangibility of things.
Okay.
So, my phone just went dead again. Why does my phone go dead all the time? Because it's tired like me. So my thoughts are, even if that higher being or whatever is alien, which there's nothing that says it isn't or can't be,
Mm-hmm.
that's even more tangible than believing in a ghost.
Aliens are more tangible than ghosts.
Supposedly, we have tangible evidence of alien visitation.
Okay. So, just out of curiosity, what would you need to?
I guess I would have to have a deity manifest right in front of me to just give me that empirical evidence.
Okay. I was gonna go with the ghosts rather than the deity.
Well,
but,
that would be great too. But I've never there's nothing that says I've ever seen a ghost. I've never ever seen anything beyond the pale.
Okay. Pharmacy asked a good question.
I wouldn't know. My phone went dead.
What if aliens are behind the ghosts?
Show me a ghost. You know, I mean, okay. So you've watched Stargate. You've watched the movie, the TV show,
Mm-hmm.
and what the heck is that? That's more believable to me than something's. There is a ghost. There's ectoplasm everywhere. It's got to be Slimer. No, I just don't believe that. I do believe there's energy that may or may not be released, but that's what moves us around. But I don't see that as being able to physically manifest into anything beyond the human body in this dimension, realm, reality, whatever you want to call it.
All right. So Ethan says, Stanley, you need to visit the Stanley Hotel.
Oh, jeez.
Lucky
So I can
says,
see the twins.
yeah, apparently. Lucky says, be careful what you wish for, Don.
Yeah, that's good. That's part of the journey.
Chris Jarvis says, Waverly Hills.
Waverly Hills.
I'm not sure what Waverly Hills is.
I should know.
Or,
For some reason, sanitarium or asylum came to mind. I can't remember.
Waverly Hills. Can't spell. Oh, it's a sanatorium in Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah, that's right.
So, yeah.
That's right.
Nope. That's not something I need to go to. Mm-mm.
But then again, we also have the Farragut Brig,
Yeah.
which is right down the road from us, which
Mhm.
I used to work with a guy who says he caught EVPs in there. So there are supposedly active places around here that, we can go visit and things like that. Eastern State Hospital in Eastern Washington, the decommissioned portion of it is supposed to be rather active. Is Julia still in the chat? She'd know a few places around here as well. Apparently, the Hope Hotel,
Mm-hmm.
is supposedly built on a Chinese cemetery from railroad days.
There's apparently a couple places, Hope and Clark Fork, that are.
Wouldn't surprise me at all. Beers Humberg,
Mhm.
down south, just south of us. There's that was a thriving little town back in the 1860s, 70s, probably 50s, 60s, and 70s, because of the railroad. And there was a lot of, there's a lot of, it's just like thinking Civil War, anywhere in the South you go, there's some kind of activity. So if you think about all the people who passed during the building of the transcontinental railways, through the United States, there's got to be places that people don't even know that they're building on bodies. So, I mean, there's a lot of activity. I could see that there would be a lot of activity in a lot of places, but I don't see it.
So, Chris Jarvis says Myrtle's Plantation is
Yes, yeah,
very,
Myrtle's
very haunted.
Plantation, yeah.
And then Lewis says
Myrtle's Plantation has some very interesting
Gettysburg.
mirrors.
Really?
Yeah, mirrors. There's a mirror. There's at least one mirror in there that I think it's somebody passed. You when back in the day, you were supposed to, when you were having a viewing for a body, that's why you had parlors in houses where people would gather, and that's in the parlors where you would do a showing or a viewing of the body of the past loved one. And you're supposed to cover your mirrors for 3 days because the mirrors can trap the spirits of the person. And so therefore mirrors can become haunted, essentially. So that's Myrtle's Plantation. There's supposed to be at least one really interesting mirror that a lot of people can't look into. So, but
So
the
Titan-
point is, okay, go ahead.
So Titan wants to know, do you believe that others have had encounters.
I believe others hallucinate the way they hallucinate.
They've encountered something, but not necessarily a real ghost.
It's not. If I didn't have the experience, I can't naysay somebody else's experience.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't. It's not my experience. That's like this whole thing going on with Bigfoot right now and the Bluff Creek, the Patterson Gimlin film and things like that. Unless you were there, you got nothing to say about it. Period.
Okay.
It's not your experience.
Okay.
You know, it's like you had your dream of, being naked in that Great Hall or whatever it was, and I had my dream of a
Odin?
meeting with Odin.
Mhm.
But nobody can tell me it wasn't true.
Mm-hmm.
And even if they did, they weren't there. It doesn't matter. Negative energy. It doesn't matter. Don't try to pass that to me.
Okay.
You didn't experience what I experienced. I'm not going to tell somebody, no, that's not true. You're full of BS. That's not my providence. That's not for me to do.
Okay. All right.
You
Cameron is like, wait, what? What's going on with the Patterson Gimlin film? Nothing.
Oh goodness, a lot.
So apparently, Lucky's dreamt of Odin also.
Really? Huh?
Mhm. So Lucky will have to call in and talk about that at some point. I've
Yeah.
got 10 minutes. You can call in now. Ah, hint, hint, nudge, nudge. No, I'm kidding.
720-523.
This is Lucky. She can dial just about.
She knows what to do.
Yeah.
She knows every way to do it.
Mm-hmm. She could hijack the signal.
Yeah, she could actually. She has the power. I was subjected to She-Ra the other day.
Yes, She-Ra has a reboot.
Oh my god.
Mhm.
By the honor of Grayskull. I'm like, no. God, no, please. So, it's not, there's nothing tangible. There's no empirical evidence for ghosts, demons. There's no empirical evidence. Nothing left behind. We did come across a story that said that there was a piece of cloth, or maybe it was a jacket or a scarf or something that was left behind from a manifestation. So it physically manifested something and left it behind.
Mm-hmm.
But and like I said, I can't say it didn't happen because I wasn't there. But if I could put my hands on that, or have been there when it happened,
Mm-hmm.
then there's empirical evidence.
All right. So Lucky wants me to add her in. So
Okay, add in Lucky.
I'm trying.
It's only like 1 o'clock in the morning over
I know,
there.
right? Well, what is she doing awake now?
She
Lucky, aren't you supposed to be sleeping? Isn't it past your bedtime, lady?
Shush, don't be telling on me.
Hello.
Good evening. Morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
something.
How you be?
I'd be okay. This is my second show for today. I've been on somebody's show. It's been fun. Yeah. Yeah, you were talking about Odin, having the dream about Odin. I want to hear more about that because I don't know if I caught this story, but I can tell you about my dream about Odin.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I had a dream that I was talking with him and he was sending me back in time.
Mhm.
He was dispatching me to go back in time, gather the documents, and place them and hide them and secure them in such a way that we could retrieve them in the future, well, from that time period.
Mhm.
And he was sending Thor to help me with it.
Wow.
Hell if I know what that meant. Hell if I know what the heck I'm supposed to be doing. I'm like, okay, so going into old documents and finding and retrieving stuff, yeah, I get that. I've done that,
Isn't that your-
several times.
Isn't that your thing?
That is my thing, but physically, I think it could have been metaphorical, but I didn't take it as such during the dream. I took it as going physically back in time and then securing the documents and squirreling them away, like perhaps like at a building site,
The Dead
a
Sea
famous building
Scrolls.
site that was being built, that kind of thing. That's what I envisioned.
Mhm.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm a little bit weirded out. Yeah. So tell me yours.
Mine was we
Uh huh.
and I know you were there when I told it um because I was talking about him naming me. And so basically, I had a dream, and I was in Odin's hall, and there were other people, other humans there. People I knew, people I didn't know. Um, and he told me that this was my last basically kind of my last karmic go round, and that I was to come home
Mm-hmm.
after this reality passes. Um,
Mm.
so yeah, and so when he named me, it seemed to reveal something about past lives and things like that. Um, and um, it was a powerful name, and that's really all I can tell you. But it was a powerful
Okay.
name, and it just kind of it was the dream that I. It was so real. I woke up sobbing, literally sobbing, from this dream. It was so surreal. It was so visceral. Um, it was vivid. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it was just incredible. And I think it was Mary Bond in the chat that said, or maybe it was Suzanne. Suzanne, I can't remember, but somebody said because I remember it so vividly, so on that emotional
Mm-hmm.
level, that it's got to be true. So I think it was
Mm-hmm.
Suzanne.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was Elaine. I
I'd
don't
have to
know.
agree.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'd absolutely. I didn't know. And to be honest with you, I don't recall you
Mm,
telling me your dream.
right.
I might have tuned in for a little while and
Right.
had to go do something else or
Yeah.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Tuned in to
But
tune out. Yeah.
and so I yeah, sorry, dude.
No,
It's like I
sorry.
got a billion things to do.
I trust. I know.
Um, you get it. I'm
Yeah.
sure you do.
Yeah.
I'm sure you get that. Yeah. But that's something that's amazing that he gave you a name. Wow. And you're going home.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You were talking about when you were talking about being in Odin's Hall,
Mhm.
and you could see people that you knew and people that you didn't know.
Mhm.
It recalled to me Paisley's dream about
Right.
the
Mm-hmm.
hall that she was in. That just, I'm sitting here like, whoa. Hers was more about the beginning of things,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
like a recreate or a creation. Yeah, that was too cool. Yeah. So, but hers was not about Odin, of course, but
Yeah. Some
hers
unnamed
was about.
lady deity.
Well, there was a masculine there too.
All
So,
true.
Hmm.
but
There was a masculine.
Yeah. Yeah.
just the
Yep.
unknown, the
The
unnamed
stag.
unknown. Yep, the stag. So,
Mhm.
but yes, like you
Uh,
pointed out in chat, that we are a little on the sleepy side today.
Yes.
So I did an
I'm so.
energetic healing for a friend of mine earlier with my new selenite wand,
Oh
and
wow.
and apparently it took a little more out of me than I thought it did, because I am just a little bit on the tired side.
Mm-hmm.
But it was good. It was
Well,
a
you
good
got to
session.
refresh yourself, of course.
Yep, I'm gonna go sleep very, very well. Excuse me. I managed to wait until the last 3 minutes to before that came out. But yes, I will sleep very well this evening, and then Mini Me hopefully will sleep all night and in the morning rather
Yes.
than
Speak your reality.
speak. Yes, she's going to sleep in until
Yes.
8, because waking me
There
up
you-
at 5:30 by petting my face was not like, what is that feeling? What's going on? Because you know how that small moment that you have just before you wake up,
Yeah.
and sometimes you hear things and such, and yeah, it just interfered into my dream world, and it was very bizarre. So that's all I remember.
It's kind of
So
like that moment. It's kind of like that moment, like when you first fall asleep and you're floating in that super comfortable spot,
mhm,
right? And then something wakes you up.
mhm,
Yeah. I've got something going on. Maybe you can help me with, but I
yeah,
have this thing like, and it happens between 15 minutes and maybe an hour or two later.
mhm,
After I drowse off and go to sleep, I wake up with a start. I mean, and my whole body is jerked
mhm.
Mm-hmm.
awake. And it's very strange. Sometimes it's accompanied with what sounds like a slamming door in
Ew.
my ears.
Mm.
Oh wow.
That's not a ghost. It's not a ghost, but it happens it doesn't matter what time I go to sleep. I can go to sleep at 4:30 in the morning, or I can go to sleep at 10 o'clock at night. It doesn't matter. I get woke up every night, and I don't know what to make of this. It's very strange because I envy my sleep. I am very jealous of my time and my rest. You
I
know.
would say are you taking a multivitamin?
Mm-hmm.
In,
Absolutely.
increase your vitamin D and your magnesium. See if that helps.
Okay. All right.
I'm
So
I'm
I just
not
have to
a
add magnesium
medical
then because
professional, but I have noticed that if my vitamin D and magnesium are off a little bit, then yeah.
10,000 units of D3.
got it. I do actually. I think I'm at 60,000.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah,
So
Yeah,
you're
I have
minimum.
to. I'm severely
Yes,
deficient in the vitamin D, but the
right.
magnesium, I do have some supplements, but I have not been taking them.
Mm.
how about
I'll start
potassium?
that again.
Are you doing
You know, I wonder
potassium?
if
Who?
that's yeah.
Potassium?
I wonder if that's a cramping issue. That's
Because potassium.
No,
So
it's not cramping. Go
oh,
ahead.
hey, guess what?
it's time.
It's time. Stay put. I'll be right back. So, hey, everybody. Thanks for joining tonight. Tomorrow will be the interview with Ellen.
Hopefully,
Yes. So, have a good night. Merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again.
good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Nice.
I think I hung up.